I've always wanted to see a comparison between Home Depot and Lowe's and determine which one is the superior one for dividend investors. I personally own Home Depot myself, but did I make the right decision? First, as a disclaimer, I just want to say I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own due diligence before investing. Lowe's recently reported their Q1 earnings last week on Wednesday, May the 22nd. They missed on their earnings per share, but beat on revenue by a bit. On top of that, they reported their gross margin rate declined by 165 basis points. 1 basis point is equal to 0.01%, so it is equivalent to 1.65%. For that miss, the stock was hit hard, down over 14%, which seems kind of intense. If it deserves it or not, I don't know, but it's definitely got my attention. So let's take a look at these two companies and see if it's worth an investment at these levels. First off, Home Depot is the larger of the two by far, but surprisingly it was Lowe's that started first. They just got outbeat and outclassed by Home Depot in the past, but can they turn it around? Home Depot pays a larger yield at 2.8% versus Lowe's 2%. One thing that's kinda off is Lowe's payout ratio. It's normally not that high, it's usually in the 30s, where Home Depot is usually in the 40s. If we ignore that one outlier data point, we can see that Lowe's payout ratio is usually lower than Home Depot's, and they've been following each other pretty closely in the past several decades. If Lowe's were to pay out the same ratio as Home Depot, their dividend yield shouldn't be too far off from each other. Yes, Home Depot would still win by a slight bit, but another thing to note is that during Q1, Lowe's comparable store sale rose more than Home Depot in percentage wise. Their 20-year stock performance has pretty closely mimicked each other, with Lowe's outperforming Home Depot. But if we were to go even further back, Home Depot outperforms Lowe's, but they both have performed nicely over the decades, and I'm sure we'll be happy with either performance. When we take a look at their annualized return, it's not surprising to see a similar trend between them, with Home Depot slightly outperforming Lowe's except for the 20-year mark. Just my own opinion, without any research or data, I personally always thought the Home Depot outperformed Lowe's, but if we were to go far back enough, we have a period where Lowe's outperformed Home Depot. But overall, great performance again, and their trend pretty much mimics each other. Over the past several decades, Home Depot and Lowe's have really grown their revenues by a lot, so much that it dwarfs all the past years. We can see this from the chart. It's literally a flat line and then an exponential jump up. But they have been growing the revenues in the past at a steady rate as well. To be honest, when you look at the home improvement store, there isn't a lot of competition. The two largest is Home Depot and Lowe's by far. To no one's surprise, when you look at their yearly profits, Home Depot has skyrocketed up to the top, just like their revenue chart, but Lowe's on the other hand hasn't quite had the same success. They acquired the Canadian retailer Rona back in 2016, but as of November 2018, Lowe's will be closing around 50 underperforming stores in the United States and Canada. I'm sure that plays a factor in their yearly profits. But even in the past, they have grown their profits over the year, just not as rapid as Home Depot. Pretty much, Lowe's has done great, just not quite as good as Home Depot. And the stellar performance of Home Depot has just overshadowed Lowe's. When we take a look at their profit margins, Home Depot has always done better. It just seems to be a better run company. But we do notice that Home Depot in the past decades has really grown the profit margins, where Lowe's has stayed flatlined at the bottom. This is where we notice a divergence in their profits. If you remember, the revenue followed a similar trend, but the profits did not in the recent 5 years. As the profit margins has deteriorated, even in the recent quarter, Home Depot reported the gross margin rate fell by 30 basis points, where Lowe's fell by 165 basis points. Now when we're looking at their dividends, these two companies have been paying and increasing their dividends for well over 30 years. And at their current payout ratio, they shouldn't have any problems with paying their dividends. And it just amazes me just to see how much they have grown their dividends, especially Home Depot. They both have very impressive dividend growth at around 20% per year. What if your boss gave you a 20% raise every year? Over time, you'll be rich. The power of compounding works miracles when it's on your side. One interesting point is that Home Depot started right off the bat with a very impressive dividend growth and slowly brought that back down to around 20%. Which is still amazing growth, but Lowe's started off slowly increasing their dividend growth and have really ramped it up and has pretty much matched Home Depot in their dividend growth in the recent decade. So out of these two companies, which one is a buy? They are both winners and both great dividend stocks to own. They both had a very long history of paying and growing their dividends, and they have really grown their business massively. I may be a little biased, but I believe that Home Depot is slightly better of the two. They have really been able to grow their profits much better than Lowe's. But if Lowe continues to pull back some more, I definitely will be interested and won't mind owning both companies. as I feel that the world is big enough for both of them to be successful. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and share the video. I really appreciate it because making these videos takes a lot of time to do the research on these companies, and it really helps out the channel, and hopefully we can reach more people and help them make better financial investments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure to smash the subscribe button, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.